The treatment of black and minority ethnic staff in the NHS has improved in the last 5 years, partly due to research at Middlesex University Business School. Looking into race discrimination, the school has shown that greater diversity at all levels brings not only wider social justice, but also better patient care. Donna Bernard reports.
Since launching one of the first business degrees in the UK over 50 years ago, Middlesex University Business School has been true to its mission of developing impactful research that links a well-treated workforce to business success.
That's always been part of what the business school here has been interested in, this sort of relationship between business and the wider society in which it's based.
The school's research was central to the 2014 Snowy White Peaks report.
I googled about a dozen NHS boards in London and found that overwhelmingly the boards were white, whereas the workforce was 40% from black and minority ethnic backgrounds, and so were the patients. So I thought that's an interesting area to look at. That's what led to the Snowy White Peaks. And what it found was that the small examples I looked at were absolutely typical of what was going on in the health service as a whole.
In London, 41% of NHS staff are BME, but at the time the report found, only 8% of NHS Trust board members were from a BME background. 40% of boards had no BME members at all, and white staff were 3 times as likely to be in senior or very senior management positions than their black or minority ethnic colleagues.
Because sometimes you're at the table, you have something to say, and you're not listened to.
Banji Adiwumi was aware of the issues facing BME staff in the NHS, but faced resistance when she tried to raise them.
I know these experiences are real. I might not have the theory to back up what I propose as a recommended step, but it's painful when you're being told it's not evidence-based.
Roger Klein's evidence quickly led to the Workforce Race Equality Standards, or RES, a 9-point checklist that NHS managers use to redress inequality. One problem in particular had been that BME staff were far more likely to face disciplinary procedures.
Even though the trust, as it was then and still is, was nearly 50-50 BME white, as in the profile. But when we look at the profile of colleagues entering the disciplinary process, sadly it was disproportionate, heavily disproportionate.
The latest RES report, published in February 2020, shows real advances being made, with fewer NHS BME staff entering the disciplinary procedure and an increase in the number in more senior positions. Roger Klein devised RES with input from Harvard University to ensure that 3 major issues were addressed: racial discrimination, staff well-being for better patient care, and accountability.
Accountability is the most effective way of driving that change. So those 3 pillars came together, and it's very hard if you're an NHS trust to say you're not going to do something that's going to improve patient care or going to reduce the turnover of your staff.
There's also been a substantial increase in the number of BME nurses at more senior levels. This success feeds into the business school's mission of promoting a fairer society, attracting students from all over the world.
They've done lots of work around small enterprises and social enterprises, and this is one of the reasons why I just felt like, okay, this could be a good place for me to actually look at, how this type of enterprises are organizing or could be set up.
It's done work around whistleblowing, bullying, health and safety, equality and diversity. So what I've done sat in that, and I think that's driven by its mission.
The school's strength lies in using its research to prove to businesses that improving workers' rights can actually be to their benefit.
I think you can see a whole range of different examples of that, and across the spectrums, whether it's to do with maternity protection, the minimum wage, whistleblowing, and so on and so forth. Lots of these practices can really benefit the way that businesses and organisations operate.
You could hopefully understand where the joy comes from when there's a piece of research that backs up what you just know and had known and will always know is the case and what needs to be done. Yes, I acknowledge I am at the table by virtue of my position, and my voice must be heard. Thank you.